Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. We talk about the problems people face in their day-to-day lives. Let's start with the video. I'm feeling really confused and hurt right now, and I need some advice from you guys. I thought my fiancé was spending his birthday with his sick dad at the hospital with the money I gave him, but then I opened up social media and saw his mom making post after post of her with her precious son and her real daughter-in-law. I don't know what to make of it. My fiancé has always been close to his mom, but I thought he always had my back. He knows how much I've been struggling financially, and I gave him the money to help with his dad's medical bills. I never would have guessed that he would use it to take his mom and his real wife out for his birthday instead. I feel like such an idiot. I thought he was the one, but now I'm starting to wonder if I know him at all. I don't know how to confront him about this without sounding paranoid or jealous, but I need to get to the bottom of it. On top of everything, his mom has always been really cold and distant toward me. She never invites me to family events, and when I do come over, she barely acknowledges me. Now I see that she's been fawning over his real wife on social media, and it just hurts so much. I don't know what to do. I love my fiancé, but I don't know if I can put up with his mom's behavior anymore. Should I confront him about this? Should I just cut my losses and move on? Any advice would be appreciated. Update 1. Hey guys, I wanted to update you on what's been going on since my last post. I took some of your advice and decided to confront my fiancé about what I saw on social media. It was a really difficult conversation, but I'm glad I had it. It turns out that his mom was the one who made those posts, not him. She's been pressuring him to leave me and marry his real wife, who she likes a lot more. She even offered to pay for the wedding and give them a house as a wedding gift. My fiancé was completely against it, but he didn't know how to tell me because he was afraid of hurting my feelings. He felt guilty for taking the money I gave him and spending it on his mom and his real wife, but he didn't want to refuse them and cause a fight. After we talked it out, he apologized profusely and promised to stand up to his mom and make things right. He even offered to pay me back for the money I gave him. I can tell he's really committed to making our relationship work. As for his mom, I don't think she's going to change anytime soon. She still acts cold towards me, but I'm trying not to let it get to me. I'm not going to let her come between me and my fiancé. I know we still have a lot of work to do, but I'm feeling more optimistic about our future together. I appreciate all of your advice and support during this tough time. Thanks for listening, guys. Update 2. Hey everyone, a lot has happened since my last post. It's been a wild ride. As I told you guys in my last update, my fiancé had told me that the girl he was hanging out with was just a friend and that he had no interest in her. But just a few days later, we were invited over to have dinner at his mom's house, an apology dinner, his mom called it. So I agreed to go because I thought that his mom genuinely wanted to apologize. But as soon as I arrived, I knew something wasn't right. His mom had a huge grin on her face when she opened the door for us. And my gut feeling was right. The girl that I had been seeing on my mother-in-law's social media accounts before was sitting at the dinner table. I'm 100% sure that my fiancé was not aware that she was going to be there because he looked really shocked and started stuttering and acting really weird. I can be a hot-headed person when I'm mad, so I confronted my mother-in-law on the spot. I asked her what this girl was doing here and told her if she didn't leave, I would. My mother-in-law enjoyed seeing me mad over this. She told everyone to look at how crazy I was acting. She then proceeded to let me know that this girl was my fiancé's ex-girlfriend and that they were still seeing each other. I had no idea they were still in contact, let alone that that was his ex. My fiancé eventually had to admit that what his mom said was true and that this was his ex. To make matters worse, he admitted that they had been spending time together behind my back. My fiancé said it was all innocent, but I'm not sure I buy that. I can't help but feel like he's been lying to me this whole time. I feel hurt and betrayed. How could he keep something like that from me? He said they were just friends and that he had no feelings for her, but I don't know if I can believe that. I confronted him again, and this time he was more apologetic. He said he didn't want to hurt me and that he was just trying to keep the peace with his mom. He promised to cut ties with his ex-girlfriend and to work on rebuilding my trust. I don't know what to do. On one hand, I love my fiancé and I want to believe that he's telling me the truth. On the other hand, I can't help but feel like I'm being played for a fool. I've been taking some time to think things over and try to figure out what I want. It's not an easy decision to make. I just feel like my whole world has been turned upside down again. Thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate all the support and advice you've given me so far. Update 3. Hey everyone. I wanted to give you an update on what's been happening since my last post. It's been a roller coaster of emotions. But I think I finally made a decision. After my fiancé's confession about his ex-girlfriend, I was shocked and felt betrayed. I needed some time to process everything and figure out what to do. I talked to my friends and family about what was going on, and they all urged me to be careful and to consider ending things with him. Their advice was helpful, but ultimately the decision was mine to make. I sat down with my fiancé and we had a long and difficult conversation about why I couldn't continue the relationship. I explained how I felt hurt and betrayed that he had lied to me and kept things from me, especially when it came to his ex-girlfriend. It was a tough conversation, and he was devastated by the news. He begged for another chance, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Breaking off the engagement was not an easy decision, but I knew it was the right one for me. It was hard to say goodbye to someone I cared about deeply, but I just couldn't ignore the red flags in our relationship. I knew I deserved someone who would be honest with me and who wouldn't keep secrets from me. Since the breakup, it's been a few weeks and it's been tough. I miss him a lot, but I know I made the right decision for myself. I've been taking some time for myself to heal and figure out what I want in my next relationship. I'm not ready to jump into anything new just yet, but I'm hopeful that things will get better in time. As for his mom and his ex-girlfriend, I haven't had any contact with them since the breakup. It's been a relief not to have to deal with their drama and manipulation. I feel like I made the right decision in cutting them out of my life. I'm taking some time for myself to heal and figure out what I want in my next relationship. I'm not ready to jump into anything new just yet, but I'm hopeful that things will get better in time. Thank you all for your support and advice throughout this whole ordeal. It's been really helpful to have a community to turn to. Update 4. Hey everyone, it's been a while since my last post, but I wanted to give you a final update on what's been happening in my life. After the breakup with my ex-fiancé, I took some time for myself to heal and figure out what I wanted in a relationship. I focused on my hobbies, spent time with my friends and family, and even went on a few dates. It took some time, but I eventually met someone new. He's kind, honest, and treats me with respect. We've been dating for a few months now, and things are going well. I've also made some big changes in my life. I started a new job that I love, and I moved into my apartment. It's been liberating to have my own space and to be independent. As for my ex-fiancé and his family, I haven't had any contact with them since the breakup. It was a difficult situation, but I'm glad that I stood up for myself and ended things when I did. Update 5. I hate to say it, guys, but I was right. My ex-fiancé and his ex are no longer exes. I know I shouldn't stalk my ex on social media, but when his name popped up on my Facebook feed yesterday, I couldn't help but take a peek at what's been going on in his life. And guess what? They're engaged now. I bet his mom is over the moon now that she has her real daughter-in-law back. Anyways, I'm just glad that I decided to break things off with him since he obviously still has feelings for his ex. My relationship is going well, so I don't care about what my ex is up to. I just thought it was funny and wanted to share it with you guys. I feel so bad for OP. It's not easy to walk away from a relationship, especially when you've invested so much time and energy into it. But sometimes that's the best thing you can do for yourself. This is such a heartbreaking story. I feel so bad for OP. It's tough to find out that the person you love has been lying to you and hiding things from you, especially when it comes to their ex-girlfriend. I think breaking off the engagement was the right decision. It's better to cut your losses now than to continue in a relationship where you don't feel like you can trust your partner. I think OP made the wrong decision by breaking off the engagement. Yes, it's understandable that they felt hurt and betrayed by their fiancé's actions, but he did apologize and promised to work on rebuilding trust. Breaking off an engagement is a serious decision and it shouldn't be taken lightly. They had invested so much time and effort into the relationship, and it's a shame to see it end like this. I think they should have given their fiancé another chance, especially since he was willing to make things right. Sometimes relationships go through tough times, but that doesn't mean they're not worth fighting for. Next story. I, male, 31, and my wife, female, 30, have 2 kids, male 5, the other female 2. I also have 2 siblings, an older brother, male 35, and a younger, male 29. Me and my older brother both have kids. My younger has none and has bounced from fling to fling. However, in 2020, before the pandemic hit, he met this girl, 23. We'll call her Amber, fake name. From day one, he was obsessed with her. They started dating, and when we thought we'd only meet her once, then never again, she stayed coming around. We were all happy to see my brother get serious about someone, even if they were a bit younger than him. However, as Amber started spending more time around our family, collectively we all noticed certain things she did we didn't like. For just a couple of examples, she would move something in whoever's house we were in and say, "This looks better like this, so I moved it for you." Or she would get into people's stuff and say, "We're family now, so we can share." Such as when she used my sister-in-law's lotions and makeup without asking. But this was the thing that made us all dislike her. She would constantly talk proudly about how she turned my, quote, spineless, frick boy baby brother into a man. Okay, unnecessary, but he was a player before, so I get the joke. But then she added, "I'll do what your mom couldn't and teach him to be a gentleman." And yes, she really has said that on more than one occasion. We've all mentioned these things to my brother, but he brushes it off or says, "I love her, dude. What can I do?" And, well, he proposed to her at the beginning of 2022. And no, she hasn't changed her antics since 2020. Anyway, Amber came over with my brother for my wife's birthday party. Of course, my kids were there too. Amber, I'm in front of a house full of mine and my wife's family. She says, "Oh, it's my favorite niece and nephew." Before picking up my daughter, she added, "Am I your favorite auntie?" in a baby voice, as if she was saying it to my daughter. I walked over and took my daughter out of her hands and said in a calm but stern tone, "You're not their aunt, so please don't refer to yourself as their aunt." She seemed taken back and immediately got defensive, saying, "I'm marrying your brother, so I will be their aunt by marriage." I just shrugged and calmly responded that I didn't care if they got married. She could be Mrs. Amber or Amber, but she was not their aunt. A few people heard and pretended not to, but Amber was upset and left, and my brother came in and asked what happened. After I told him, he said I was an ass and took off after Amber. My brother called me that night saying I needed to apologize and take back what I said, but I refused to. My kids hardly spend time with her, and she's not very well liked amongst our family. So AITA? ESH. Nobody is talking to Amber and nobody is establishing their own boundaries with her. If brother refuses to do the job, go around him, especially if he insists on bringing her around when he knows she's being rude and condescending. They can't keep their heads in the sand forever, and they can't keep letting their resentment build. Make a boundary and stop inviting them if they break those boundaries. YTA in this particular situation, even if she sucks in general? She's your brother's life partner, so she's your children's aunt. She can be a distant aunt, a hated aunt, a practical stranger, whatever. You get to choose how much she sees your kids, but not her position on the family tree. Next story. I, female 30, am part of an extended family group chat on Facebook. My family rarely chat in the group unless there is a big life event happening or we are organizing a family event. Earlier this year, one of my aunties asked if anyone had any life updates to share. My cousin, female 30, had a particularly big life update and announced that she got engaged to her partner of 7 years first. All the family, including myself, congratulated her, and I was genuinely very happy. I didn't think too much of it at the time, but I thought since we were going around sharing our life updates, I thought it would only be fitting to announce my pregnancy in the group chat as well. All my family congratulated me as well, and everyone seemed really excited about my baby news, including my cousin. Couple of days later, my cousin messages a long paragraph, absolutely furious. She accused me of stealing her spotlight, announcing my pregnancy on the same day as her engagement, although she seemed happy for me in the group chat the day before. I immediately apologized to her and felt so guilty after the fact. My cousin never messages me back after my apology, and I didn't talk to her again for the rest of my pregnancy. I feel really sad about all this as it's now formed a wedge between my mom and my auntie as they have taken sides. To top it all off, several months later, my beautiful baby daughter was born on the same day as my cousin's birthday. Coincidence, right? I have very recently given birth to a beautiful daughter and I wanted to make a baby announcement on the day she was born. However, I could not bring myself to do it because my cousin just turned 30, which is a huge milestone. I am already not on speaking terms with my cousin and her family just over this and don't want to steal my cousin's spotlight the second time, although I feel deep down that I have every right to celebrate my daughter's birth and her future birthdays without having to feel guilty of stealing someone else's spotlight just because they share a birthday. NTA at all. Why on earth is your cousin's engagement more significant than your pregnancy? And even if it was bad form to announce your pregnancy right after she announced the engagement, you apologized as soon as you learned that it hurt her. And she didn't talk to you for the rest of your pregnancy. What is that? Announce the birth of your child. Starting a life is as significant as living one for 30 years. You have every right to celebrate your life. Please don't let your aunt or your cousin make you believe that you're less important than she is. NTA. I swear, people are ridiculous. Get over it. These are happy things to be embraced, and people are acting like children over it. The aunt asked, they responded. Move on. She delayed announcing her child's birth, for Christ's sake, because these people are too sensitive. Just imagine how annoyed they will be because her kid's birthday is the same as her cousin's. Sure, you want to feel special. I get it, but people in your life don't break or crumble if you've given them one good thing to be excited about and another on top of it. Like, what the frick? You all need to move on because it's ridiculous. What? You ruined my engagement announcement with your baby news? How will I ever get over it? Well, I don't know, Fran. You're about to have a bridal shower, a bachelorette party, and a whole freaking wedding that will be all about you. I'm sure you will make it. Time to move on. Celebrate your new baby. You did nothing wrong. Now, if no one asked you and your cousin announced it at a dinner and you just stood up immediately and said you were knocked up, then you'd be a huge AH. Good luck out there. NTA. But was the aunt who asked your cousin's mother? If so, I bet the question was specifically directed to her making her engagement announcement, and you unwittingly stepped into their grand plan. But that's what they get for setting it up that way. And you genuinely answered her question. It's not like Auntie said, "Hey, cousin, why don't you share your news?" She is the one who asked an open question, and your response to her question by sharing your good news was entirely appropriate. Honestly, they sound exhausting. You can't send a baby announcement because your cousin is 30. Stop worrying about offending these people. They'll be offended anyhow. Stay tuned for more stories from our girl relationships.